There we go. Now we're recording.
All right.
Hi.
Hi, Sissy. Okay, so you told me already that there's no chit-chatting. Tell me why.
Okay, so the species that we're talking to today, I don't have a name for them, but it was a species that Sam recommended that we talk to.
Ooh.
And they, every time I would be meditating, I'd want to connect with their energy because it helps me to better listen to them, hear them, feel them. Because how I channel is I feel energy. I don't hear word for word what they're saying.
Right?
And they would think it's time for the video time for them to come in, and they would have to, it's almost as if they're all the same person. And they're not, but it makes it feel like they have to drop everything and then come and
Oh,
talk to us. And they're very busy. And so the second I'm not ready, they leave right afterward, and I feel so bad. I've made them come back and forth a couple of times. Um,
that's so interesting.
yeah.
I don't I don't
They're,
have any idea what to talk about, but I'll figure it out. It's my
uh,
specialty.
so they are about like 12 inches tall. They're like this big.
Oh
They're
my
really tiny. They're so
gosh.
cute. Um, they have these, um, they have a pretty big head. Not like huge like our standard, but like for their tiny bodies, it's a little, you know,
Okay.
um, shaped a little differently. Let me try and see them more clearly.
Okay.
Can you show me your heads better? Okay, so they're a little round in the back, and they have these small dark eyes, and they just look like grays, but like miniature, skinnier ones, and they're like a brownish, orangey color, a tannish kind of.
Okay.
Um, but
Are
yeah, they're
they
super
what are
cute.
their what are they wearing? What are you wearing?
What are you wearing? Um, it's just like a skin tight jumpsuit kind of thing, and it matches their skin
Okay.
color. So it's almost like they're naked, if you weren't paying
Okay.
attention.
Right.
But they're not. And they have,
How many do you see? How many are there?
I don't know, I think at the most six. It's like four or
Okay.
six. There's not that many. And there's more that are trickling in. And how they sound is super cute. Um, they mostly they're not talking out loud, but I could tell like by their voice that I'm hearing, it's kind of like a chipmunky, like a robotic kind of chipmunk sound.
Okay. Okay.
It's cute. And their little feetsies. They're so cute. They're so bony. You can really see like their ligaments and their bones.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really skin tight. Um, they don't. What's your diet like? They said we don't eat much. But the feeling like the image I get of their food is like small little pebbles. They kind of remind me of
Dog
like
food.
yeah, yeah.
Soba snacks.
But they're super soft. Like they don't have tough teeth. They have small little
Okay.
teeth, and it's
God, I
really
wish I
soft.
could see them. You'll have to do in your very best drawing a teeny tiny like cartoon of them for us.
I'm so
Should
bad
I
at
ask
drawing.
questions? I got some.
Okay,
Are
go
you
for
ready?
it. Yeah,
Okay, well, hi, little cuties. I'm so glad you're here.
we'll call
First,
them little cuties.
little cuties. Oh my gosh. Okay, so where do you guys live? Are you well, do you live on Earth? Are you visiting us? Are you somewhere else or both or what up?
Okay, so they all gave different answers. I'm going to need just one person to answer. They really wanted to communicate with humanity about them and who they are and
Good.
all that. They're really excited about it.
Oh, that makes me happy.
So that one of them is saying that I'll speak, like he kind of,
Okay.
volunteered. I'll be the person. There's a small group of us that's stationed outside Earth, right outside our atmosphere. We don't go on Earth. That's not our job. They said our job is outside Earth, orbiting around your planet. There's a few of
Okay.
us that are stationed in other places, but for us, our ship is near your planet.
Okay.
Where do you originally come from?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're all looking at each other like, how are we going to answer this? So
Uh-oh. God, this is interesting.
they said they come from far away, obviously. Nowhere near your planet, nowhere near your solar system. It's almost like they're right on the cusp of like the galaxy or something, which doesn't make sense because nothing really ends or begins. I don't know. But they said that our planet's really small, and they were like a type of insect on their planet.
Oh my gosh, no
Uh,
way.
but there's much bigger animals, but they don't
Uh-huh.
get any bigger than like our rodents do because their planet's so small. Humans wouldn't
Wow.
humans wouldn't be able to go on it. Um, that's so strange. How small is it? It makes me feel like it's the size of like a fucking baseball. But I know
Beach
that's
ball, right?
yeah.
Horn, here's a who.
It's probably less than half the size. So like take Earth, put it in half, but it's a little less than half than
Okay.
Earth. It's too big. It's big for us, but small for you.
Okay. What well, I'm going to start
Our
with these
atmosphere
questions.
is very
Oh,
thin. They said that's
okay.
why we can't really come to Earth. It's too heavy. It's too dense for us. But we're safe orbiting around the planet. What else do you do on? Well, how about you go?
Why are you orbiting Earth? Are you interested in Earth, or is it just convenient or has a nice view?
They said it has a nice view. They're saying that the reason they said to help with the health of your planet.
Oh, thank you.
Mainly their focus, their participation, that's a weird word they chose, their participations with our sun.
Oh,
And their sun, our, not their sun, our sun. So what are you doing with our sun? Trying to control the solar flares that
okay.
pop up, the ones that are detrimental to the planet's health, the ones that will harm it. Is your
Okay.
ozone layer is much too thin to handle a
Mm-hmm.
lot of what the sun's, I don't know, what the sun gases or something. I don't know what the fuck. But the flares that come out, it's much too thin to
Mm-hmm.
handle it. And a lot of people would be fried. So they've been doing that
Yikes.
for a couple of decades. More than a couple
Wow.
of decades, for several decades. It's been thinning more and more.
Is that the reason you came? Was it? Did we like have a distress call and you came, or have you been here longer than that?
Hold on, I'm gonna sneeze. Never mind.
Uh-oh.
It's not happening.
You jinxed it. You announce it, it goes away. It'll come
Yep.
back in a minute.
So what made you come to Earth? Your planet's health. So how did you hear that our
Okay.
planet was in detrimental health? Neighboring planets? Neighboring, like, they make it sound like neighboring, like, extraterrestrials that are around the area
Okay.
that come to Earth often or around Earth often. So they're talking about their ships and why they are the ones helping. Because
Okay.
the type of metal that they use, it's not even a metal really. It's something from their home planet that their ships can withstand a higher heat, and it doesn't
Okay.
melt as easily. It's almost indestructible. You said it can be
Wow.
destroyed, but it has to be a much stronger force than that.
Than anything we have. Okay.
Yeah. And they said that they don't go into the sun. They go around it. They can go much closer than anyone else, but they don't go into the sun.
Okay.
They said that would be too hot and we would die, but we would melt. But we can go much closer than others can, and we use, I don't know, like they're talking about some kind of, I don't know anything about physics, so they make it seem like it's some kind of energy, like a wave that they create at the end of their spacecrafts. It like blows out this kind of air, almost like a
Okay.
sonic kind of wave, and it controls where the flares are going and what direction.
Huh.
Instead of pointing it controls where it's going to go.
Interesting.
So you'll probably catch, they said if you could probably catch our ships zipping around close to your sun. They're really tiny. Our ships are tiny because we're tiny.
Right?
But they're just zipping around controlling where the flares are going and what direction and how far out they're allowed to go from the sun.
Okay.
Not all of them. Some flares, they said it's good sometimes.
Okay.
Those are the ones that we're not going to intrude on.
Right.
Only the ones that it's a strong enough one that it'll cause like a huge shift on the planet's
Okay.
like I don't know. What do the flares do? They can ruin our technology. Kind of like, a power outage kind of situation.
Does it affect the people, like emotionally and stuff
They
too?
said
Because we're always
anything
blaming
could.
stuff on the flares.
They said anything could,
Okay.
if you're sensitive enough. They said, but
So,
that's not why they're doing it. It's to stop our emotional effect on it. They said it could control the weather patterns too.
okay.
Yeah.
And you are making it clear as to why you were asked to do this work because you have the qualifications for it. But I'm also curious, is this like an altruistic endeavor, or does it somehow benefit you too? Or are you just being sweeties?
They at first didn't understand what sweeties meant. They said, yes, we are being sweeties. But
cute.
it's not just about us. And it's not just about your species. It could be any species that's on that planet. But we're about the benefit of the entire whole, the entire universal
Okay.
council is what it sounded like. If one planet's destroyed due to the ignorance of the species living on that planet, and it's not the planet's natural way of dying, because sometimes planets do become uninhabitable, but they do so naturally.
Right.
And that's something we don't interfere with. But when it becomes an issue that the species is creating or perpetuating, they say your planet does change, the weather changes naturally, but it's doing so at an accelerated rate and very drastically, and that's not what is natural. Everything's supposed to be gradual. They said they're talking about like a flower, how a flower grows gradually. It doesn't just grow one day, dies the next. It's a gradual process. The way that your weather's working now is becoming way more dramatic, and that's not natural.
Okay.
They said your changes in your weather is supposed to be slow.
Right. And I understand that it is our ignorance that creates these problems. But what's your view on humanity? Do you like discuss it with us, or are we like little
questions.
pets? Did you? What do you think of us?
What do you think of humanity? They said, we think that you have a lot of growing to do, that you are not wrong for being who you are and where you are at. You'd be surprised how many other species, they've been around for a long time. These guys are old. They said that you're not the first species we've come across in our history that have had this same situation. So it's not surprising to us that this has happened. It happens a lot more than you think it does. It comes from having too advanced technology too quickly when you are not mature enough to handle it, when you're not ready.
Interesting.
And that can happen when extraterrestrial species intercede when they're not supposed to. And they trade technology when you're not ready to receive that technology that they're giving you. So we don't agree with other species making direct contact with your government. No matter who they are and what their reasons are. We do to a certain extent. Accept technology can be traded upon, but they believe it should be agreed upon by the entire Universal Council. They're calling it a Universal Council. So I wanted to ask them if they're part of the Galactic Council, but I guess they call it something else. So again, another name, same thing.
Right.
They said that that's something that should be agreed upon, but it's like each species has their own understanding of what they want to trade with. And they said that not every species is part of the Universal Council, and that creates some issues. So one example, they're not saying this, but me saying this is the Greys, the ones that are not benevolent. They're trading technology with
the data collectors.
Yeah. Not with just the United States government, with different governments, because they don't care. The more humans they can abduct, the merrier.
More data. We don't care. Give us what we need.
So
interesting.
they aren't part of this Universal Council. Now, the Sarsar are, and they're in agreement with the rest of the council of what they're allowed to give to whatever governments they're part of. And something I learned recently is that some people don't like the Sarsar because they are in contact with the United States government, and people have issues with the U.S., which I get. I live in the U.S. I have issues. I fucking think this country's a wreck. But they judge the Sarsar because they have a trade with the United States government, and they think of it as evil and all that. And they said no good can come from a species that has contact with such an evil government. But here's the thing. The Palladians have contact with the U.S. government as well as like other countries. They're just covering their bases with every top government on Earth. So it's not about the United States. The Sarsar were just assigned to the United States because they had a base already there, and the United States just happened to be created around them. So
that makes sense.
Right. So it's not about them wanting to be with the evil ones, and there really is no evil. It just is what it is. Anyway, sorry, I went on a rant. I said it's okay.
Well, what do they think about Stardust then?
It's the first they've heard of it. They sound like, okay, so what would be the human equivalent of someone who lives off the grid? It's kind of like them. They're not in on the gossip and everything that's going on. So they're like, this is the first we've heard of it. The only reason why we heard about it is because you're interested in talking to us. But Stardust is about open contact. They said, we've gathered that. We gathered that already. They said that they think of it as a good thing, but to be cautious of what? Of who you bring in? Oh, I'm always cautious. Yeah. I said, okay, good. I said, because not everyone's there for your benefit. And they said, and they know how trusting humans can be, although foolhardy it may be.
Yeah, I'm that one. I'm the foolhardy, trusting one.
Yeah. They like that you recognize that.
Well, what kind of messages would you like to share with us to help us? We love our planet too, and so is there anything that we're not doing that we might be able to do to help us, help ourselves?
They said to live every day like you love your planet.
Okay.
To take care of it like you would take care of your own children, which you don't do. You wouldn't throw trash at your children. You wouldn't let them walk around dirty all the time.
Okay.
You would dress them. You would feed them. You're not feeding your earth. You're just taking more from it and not giving back enough. They said that would help a lot. That's something small you can do. So, that's something like one of our presidents did. I forget which one, but they said for every tree that you take, you plant like 2.
Yeah.
Or something. Yeah. So they said to give back what you're taking away, which is not what you're doing. They said, and that would actually fix a lot of the issues.
Okay.
Because there's an imbalance. And so what Earth is doing, because Earth is alive, just like your plants are alive. Earth is, you could think of it as one giant plant. And it's trying to heal itself, but it doesn't have much it can take from. Enough resources. Because we're just depleting it. They said it slowly because it's a big planet. It's a big plant to deplete. So it's going to take some time to kill it. But you're doing it, is what they're saying. And so they said that it's that the planet's not going to be unfixable because the planets are actually really durable. It takes a lot to kill a planet. They said like a huge meteor hitting it suddenly and it's breaking off into pieces.
Okay.
They said something like that would definitely destroy a planet, but it would become something new. But they said that I forgot. It just completely left me. That's okay.
That's okay. I know it's got to be a challenge trying to translate this stuff. So, have you been successful in your other missions?
Yes,
I guess, to help other planets?
They said they're glad you asked because they don't want humans to feel like it's the end of the world. They said it's not. That's what they were saying. They were saying that the Earth is is still, they're saying the exact same thing other species said. Earth is still going to be alive. It just will become uninhabitable for us.
Okay.
We're killing it
I
for
get it.
us.
Right.
But the planet will be fine. So right now they're saying it's kind of like we're saving you from yourselves.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and you could thank us for that. They're pretty,
Thank you.
wow, they're a little cocky. I like it. Wasn't expecting that. That was not what I was expecting. And they said that, what was your question? Something about how do they,
If they had,
yeah. They said they've helped every planet they've ever helped with, they've succeeded.
oh,
So
well, thank you for being here then. You're going to help us. Yay.
they said for right now our focus is on your sun until your ozone layer strengthens up, and after that our focus will be on other things that need to be strengthened.
Okay.
But that's where we are stationed at. That's where we're quartered at. They said quartered, or where their headquarters are at is
Okay. Okay. I know a lot of the awareness about the shit around the planet just came because of the internet, I feel like. I don't think we understood the amount of destruction that was going on. So if you don't understand something and you don't know it's a problem, you can't fix it. So from your perspective, does that sound like a reasonable statement? And do you think that our new awareness is changing anything?
They said, I don't think it's the awareness of the spreading of information. I just think it's your awareness as you're evolving as a species. And you're noticing, hey, this isn't natural. This isn't good. And you can feel it. You don't have to see it for yourself, but you can feel it. Because you're in tune with your home planet. You're part of its heartbeat. So, of course, you're going to know when part of your body is acting up. You'll feel it.
I have a little saying, my friend Jerry from California, she always says if she's on the fence about whether or not to do something, she has a little question or little whatever phrase she says. And she says, if it benefits everyone, it's the right thing to do. So that's what I was thinking of when they were saying, yeah, so when you take care of the planet like it's your kid. So if it benefits everyone to pick up that piece of trash, then do it. It's the right thing to do. So use that one all the time. I like it.
I have a question for you. So you are part of the Galactic Council, correct? The Universal Council. The ones that the Pleiadians are on, and the Arcturians and the Sarsar and all that. The Sarsar, I named them that. They're the tall whites, the really tall, really thin, blue eyes, white hair. I said, yes, we think we know what you're talking about. There's a lot of ETs that fit that description, though. What do you think of the Sarsar? That's my own little personal question.
Our space people.
The people we have most contact with. So they're fine. They're on the same mission as us, if we're talking about the same ones. They're here to help with the planet too, not really necessarily with humanity.
Right.
I think that part of their mission is to try and be on the ground to talk about climate change so that our governments can actually take control and believe it's a thing. Mm-hmm. They said that's important work too. They said that we don't have any reason. I don't really have an opinion about them. So.
Okay. Whatevs.
They're a young species, is what they said. They're almost as young as you guys. Yeah, they are pretty young. So I had a question about what are your beliefs concerning afterlife? Do you believe in the concept of God or a higher source or whatever it is that you call it? They said we don't believe in a God. We believe that there is a energetic source that we all belong to. We do not say it is higher because that is to imply that it is above us when it is not. It is within us. It's on the same level as us. Do you believe there's afterlife? They said that yes, but we don't believe in it. And what your concept would be, where we just go where we go next. We don't have an idea of what it looks like.
Wow. Interesting. And how do you feel about that? Because many of us take comfort in knowing that there's something beautiful and peaceful waiting for us.
They said not that we don't believe that there's something peaceful waiting for us. We just don't spend our time trying to decipher what that is, what it would look like. We know it is there. We don't feel the need to dissect it, to figure it out. It's enough to know to have that knowing that you don't need to really divulge into it.
I wonder why that is. Maybe they're just more content in life because
Yeah,
here we're
yeah,
like, can't wait to go home.
I know. That comes from not loving yourselves, is what they're saying.
Hmm.
That I can't wait to go home. Um, it doesn't matter who you are and what your reasonings are. It's coming from within why you
That
don't.
does make sense. Yeah, that does make sense. So they are more content.
Yeah, they're much. Yeah, they're very present. They're just here. Let's
Okay.
see. How long?
Well, can
Oh,
you?
that's right. I already asked that.
Oh,
You go ahead.
I was just going to go back to their planet some more, and I wanted to deviate a little bit and just ask like cultural stuff, like what do you do for fun, and you know
Oh yeah.
things like that.
What's your culture like? So what do you do for fun? Are you just always working? They said working is our purpose. And we don't feel the need to have a, they said for us, fun is doing our purpose. Everything is part of our purpose. So,
Okay.
but do you do anything? So say you have a job you do and it's to get rid of these solar flares, right? Or to at least lessen the damage they do to the planet. Um, do you do other things besides that? They said yes. Do you like play music? Do you
Are you
dance?
creative? Are you a creative species?
Um, they said every species is inherently creative, or else they wouldn't create anything. Um, but they said not as creative as humanity is. Um, I'm trying to get like, do you guys just work literally all day, 24/7? They said no. We spend time with our friends. So what I'm getting is that anything they do, no matter what it is part of their life purpose. That's what they're
Huh.
saying. So even
Huh.
if it's relaxing for a day or two or something, it's
Maybe
part of
that's what. Maybe we're like that too, but we just don't count that as such
right.
because we're told to go out and relax and replenish yourself, and that's got to be indirectly part of your life purpose, but it
It's
doesn't
not.
feel
They
like
said
it
it's
because
not
it's not active.
indirectly. It is directly part of the
But it
life
feels
purpose.
okay.
Everything you
Okay.
do is part of your life purpose. That's why
God,
you're
I
doing
like
it.
that concept. I like that because it makes me feel like everything I do, I am on track. I'm doing it right.
They said yes, you are. There is no deviating from your life path because you created it
Mm.
yourself. That doesn't make sense. That you would deviate
Well,
from your own self.
you're right. I'm loving this because there's so many of us that don't feel in control. And this is just a real, like, another way of presenting to us that you're always in control. You always are in charge of your path.
They said that that fear of not having control is just not. They said again, it comes from within, not knowing who you are, not
Mm.
trusting your own self. When you
Mm.
fear that loss of control, you're fearing yourself.
Mm.
But that's
Interesting.
their belief. They said, but this is our belief. That does not mean it is a fact. They said each species
Okay.
has their own belief system, and this is ours. Which I like that. Each species is different. It may like fall within the same kind of lines or whatever within the
Uh-huh.
similarities, but they're all a little different.
Yeah. What's your lifespan? Like, can you equate it to a human year? I don't know how to.
Yeah, how
That
many
one's tricky.
Earth years do you live? Okay, that's a long time. They're counting it. Um, I'm not good at hearing numbers either, so let me try
Okay.
and
All right.
because you know me, I feel the energy. And what's the energy of a number?
Right.
How do you do that?
I know. I have no idea
That's
to do
why I
any of
can't get
this.
names or anything. I'm like, I don't know, dude. It feels like a Rick. I don't know, man. um, it sounds like almost like 800, 1,000 years, something like that. Around that.
Okay.
They said
Gosh,
they live a
that's
long time because they take care of their bodies better.
all
That and they
right.
have better technology. And they said, and that helps. Like they
I
get a
guess
little cocky. They're so cute, and they're like, well, because we take care of our bodies, that's why we live that long. And we have better technology. That helps.
I'm gonna die tomorrow. Just kidding. So what about? Okay, let me ask about your biology a little.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're talking about that. They're
oh.
saying that their technology they use is when the body begins to wear down. It's like
Hmm.
they rejuvenate it somehow. They
Hmm.
like stand in this scanner and it scans the body. And they said it's not a scanner. What it is replenishing our cells so
Huh.
that it reaches a certain point. rejuvenation. So he's saying we always feel like we're really young, even though we're not.
Right.
Eventually, our bodies do give out because that rejuvenation only lasts for so many cycles. They said, like, you can only get it done so much, you know?
Okay.
Kind of like if anyone's gotten a piercing, a belly button piercing, you know, you can only get it done 3 times. And after the third time, there's too much scar tissue and you can't get it redone anymore.
Cool.
I have that. I have that
Yeah.
problem. They said because the body is naturally supposed to die. No matter how hard you try to fight it, immortality is unattainable.
How does your species view death? Is that a sad thing or just a part of it?
Yeah, it's just a part of it. They said we've surpassed the concept of grief.
Really?
Yeah, they said that you can tell how young a species is depending on how they view death. Because there really is no difference to us between being here and then being somewhere else, because you are still fulfilling your life purpose no matter what, wherever you are.
That is so interesting. We have never heard that a species is measured in their maturity by how they grieve or whether or not they do. That's interesting. Huh.
They said that we're far more advanced than even than the ones that you deem as higher up, like the Pleiadians. So they're much higher than they are in that sense, because Pleiadians do grieve, even though it is a very small period of time, you know, because how advanced a species is spiritually is not by whether or not they feel sadness or not. It's about how fast they can let go of emotions. Do you feel sadness? It says sometimes. We feel more grief when it comes to collective things versus personal.
Okay.
They said we feel sad for your planet. We feel sad for humanity when they go through their hard times. We cry for your people. We cry for your planet. We would do the same for any other species that we're around, that we're working with. But right now we're working with you. And they're saying that, is it your whole species that's working with humanity? Okay, yes. I thought maybe it was just like one ship that was here. It's all of us. There's not many of us left, is what they're saying.
Oh, no. How do you feel about that? That makes me sad.
They said we're part of the collective. We'll always be here. We'll just take on newer forms. They said being this small isn't that great. They said it's not optimal. So we have created ourselves to be bigger. And we're the last of the few. They said you could see a purebred, but that doesn't mean we're exactly pure. It just means we're the original source.
What do you mean you've created a new version of yourself?
They said we implanted our genomes. I don't know. They implanted their DNA and created hybrids, pretty much, with participating parties. I like the way they talk. It's a little like professional, but they sound so sweet about it. They're like, we used our DNA on participating parties.
You're making me cry.
So they cry with you, is what they say. You cry, we cry with you. We feel the collective energy.
Okay. Do you cry when you get happy and feely too?
They said no, but we can sympathize.
Okay. What other question did you have, Heather?
I didn't have any.
Oh, I got one.
Yes.
What about, okay, I'm going to go back to biology. I'm going to ask about babies. Do you grow babies like we do inside a female body? Or
No, not anymore. Do you have genders? We do still. We don't have much need for the use of gender. They said you just are born with the reproductive organs that you're born with, and that has nothing to do with your identity. They said that they don't have he, she either. They just all call each other. It's like everyone's the same pronoun kind of thing. They said that comes when you suppress the need for identity through gender. They said that humanity is getting slowly towards that step. You still have many more growing patterns to go through. I like how they call it the patterns, growing patterns to go through to get there, but you're on your way. But they said that they use technology in order to grow their children. I mean, they're saying that it's not made completely of technology. They still need DNA from participating parties, but that's how they make their children. Incubators.
You just froze on me. Hang on. So, okay. I don't know what else to ask them. Do you?
No. Is there anything else you wish to tell humanity? I says, yes. Know that we love you very much. We wouldn't be here if we didn't. You're a part of this collective and you're a part of our universal council. Maybe not as of yet. No human is on our board of, their board meeting.
You're going to be on the
I know
board.
Sam asked me if I wanted to, and I was like, yeah, sure, but I had to be accepted. I'm like, well, one human on there should be enough. Yes. They're like, welcome to the party. If I get accepted. Would you
I'm going to
accept
vote
me?
for you.
Yes.
Just send him your letter, the same one that you
I
need
know
to
my
send for
Native
college.
American fucking, oh my God. All right. Sorry. Do you know anything about human history at all? So we know some, but not all. Highlights, but not everything. We have no interest in such things. They said that would lead to judgment. And they said we do recognize our weak points as a species, places where we fall short. And we do have judgment. Every species does. Even
What do you do with
judgment
it?
that's seen as positive, when you see them as, oh, they are lovely. They're positive beings. That's a judgment.
Right.
Just because it's not something that is something that is negative, you're saying something bad about them, does not mean that you are without judgment. And we fall short because we do have judgment still, whether that's positive or negative judgment. And they said that the reason why they don't want to learn our history is because they don't want to judge us.
Interesting. You will.
Yeah, you would.
Don't look.
They said we won't.
Ignorance is bliss.
We want to continue loving you. Learning your history probably wouldn't change that, no matter how grotesque it could get, because each species has their past. But they want to get past the point of, they said they believe there's a point in which it's not that you no longer love any species or hate them, you just become to a point where everything just is. Yeah, and they want to reach that point. And they said, but that is our belief that is a point, and that's where we are headed. Right now, where your head is thinking more positive, but you will soon surpass that and move on. They said, so everything happens in steps and patterns, they said, and you're on this new pattern.
Okay. It sounds like, that they're very much trying to achieve a spirit perspective while incarnated in a body. It just is.
Yeah. They said a lot of species have accomplished that. Some sooner than others. Each species is different in how they learn and grow. Some become more advanced technologically than they do spiritually. Some become more advanced spiritually first, and then their technology follows.
Is it a reasonable statement? I think I learned one time that a species can evolve to a point of choosing whether or not it wants to die or stay incarnated in that body, like indefinitely. So what's the difference?
They said yes. They said yes, that can happen because you choose to be here. And the reason why you're here is so you can learn and grow as an energy source. I like how they don't call it a soul or anything. An energetic source.
I like that too.
Because the energetic source takes in what it is learning and it changes its pattern. And you're trying to achieve a certain pattern. I love they say patterns. And they said you can only achieve those patterns through life. And when you feel you have finished that pattern, you leave. You're done.
Okay.
And there doesn't need to be a traumatic death about it.
Okay.
That comes from the body evolving to a certain extent, as well as the mind. Because your mind and body are aligned together.
Okay. We in Stardust, I'm going to speak for all of our people. We enjoy meeting new species, and we enjoy the connections and friendships that we make. Is that something that you guys do? If any of our people call out to you and want to just, hang out in meditation or whatever, is that something that you do?
They said, no, not really. Not that we don't want to. We're just...
It's not your thing. That's okay.
We're just very busy. And we have things we have to do. It's not part of our life purpose to make contact with humans in such a way. But we are given opportunities such as this in order to facilitate a dialogue and open a line of communication for just a short while.
Well, thank you.
Most people don't know we exist, but we are here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming. I loved this. I love meeting the little cuties.
They're really nice. They're actually, like, as much as they come off very professional and all that, there's this sense of they are very big softies. They have a lot of love to give. Such little bodies. There's such big amount of love and understanding, and from a point of view of, I guess, a positive form of judgment, you know.
A preference.
Yeah, a preference.
All right. Well, Heather, I'm ready to wrap them up if you are. I don't know. I don't know what to.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? No. They said thank you for the
No, thank you.
opportunity, and we hope that we have helped at least some of your people who will watch this, and that we hope to see you on the council soon. Oh, thank you. I know. I know.
It's so cute. Goodbye, little cuties.
Bye, little cuties. They don't care what we call them, but they're like, okay, little cuties. You know, kind of like they don't have like an opinion on it.
It's super advanced species, and just because, you know, our judgment is just gonna, you know, on how little things are cute.
Yeah, I know.
We
Little
name them off
cuties.
that.
Yeah, they asked us, are we done? Because they don't want to be rude and leave. And then
God,
that's
that's well, they're little sweeties and cuties. All right, set them free.
Yeah, no, we're done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
They said, we'll be around. They make it seem like even though they probably won't talk to people, you could still feel them in the air. You know, they're still there. We'll be
I'll
around.
be looking for you when I'm out sun worshiping. Say hi.
All right. Well, they're gone. Is there anything?
That was so cool.
It was.
I don't even know why that makes me cry. I just guess I feel so lucky to have these opportunities. I'm such a lucky girl to do this with you.
I know.
Thank you.
I loved them. They were nice. I liked them. And I was so worried this whole time that I'm like, am I going to be a clear enough channel for this? And then I'm like, I'm overthinking it. You know? The last video we did, Jason said that, you know, I got inside jokes right that I wouldn't be able to know otherwise. And I'm like, okay, well then, all right. I did a good job. And I'm like, this is going to be no different. Stop overthinking everything.
That's true. That's true. Are you feeling better about that? You had your big mutation and feeling better about your channeling and about the tail end of mine.
Anyway,
Okay.
Is there anything else you'd like to say before I end the recording? Because I still want to talk to you after, because we didn't get to talk before.
I know. Okay, no. Let's say goodbye to the people and tell secrets.
Okay. Real quick, I do one more time want to say that I have my summer class coming up. The class, they don't start next weekend, but the first class is next weekend, and it's an 8-week-long summer course. And you do get a pendulum, a tarot card deck, and a class notebook. And I go over I don't think spirituality is something you can teach, because everybody is spiritual. You're a spiritual being. I just help guide you through learning the skills that come with channeling. And part of channeling is doing some self-work, self-healing. And I guide you through all of that. At the very last part of the classes, we learn trance channeling, at least the beginning skills of it. And some people were a little hesitant to join because of that. And I'm like, I'm not saying that you have to do this, but I'm giving you the tools you need to keep with you whenever you are ready to really jump into trance channeling.
Well, will those same lessons of trance channeling apply to regular channeling too, or not necessarily?
Definitely.
Okay, so if you're not comfortable with one, then, you know, on this path, we almost all want to channel. We all want to receive messages from spirit. So I guess just take it as far as you want to.
Yeah. Trance channeling has really helped with my conscious channeling, I guess you could call it. Because it's really all about surrendering, and trance channeling is that ultimate surrender. And you really just are a conduit, and you try to be as clear as you can.
All right.
But yeah.
Sign me up. I'll take 2 spots. I want to learn twice as much as everybody else.
All right.
Okay, baby, shut this off because I want to hear your secrets.
Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.